Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hour 6 News at 6. With your host, Paul Bessenbacher. Weather with John Nagolski. Your leader in sports. Food criticism. Art critique. The daily recipe. And finally, fast money. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Paul Bessenbacher.
Good evening, I'm Paul Bessenbacher. Tonight, possible schedule changes and a dean stepping down. But first, weather with John Nagolski.
I don't know, it looks like it might be sunny. I never get these things right anyways.
Thanks, John. Great report, as always. Now, tonight's top story. Book-savvy consumers have had their eyes opened lately by Joe Drape's brand new Soldiers First, an inside look at the life of an Army cadet not only playing football, but also becoming a national hero. Joined now by best-selling author Joe Drape via cell phone. Hello, Joe.
Hey Paul, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey Joe, no problem. Thanks for coming on. So I just want to start off with some questions that me as well as your readers will be wondering. First, what was your inspiration for writing this book?
Well, Paul, it all started when my son Jack and I watched an Army Notre Dame football game. It was at Yankee Stadium, I believe. And Jack immediately fell in love with Army. And before I knew it, I was researching for a new book.
Very good, Joe. Next, if you wouldn't mind explaining to us some of the key elements in your book, like the main characters.
Well, Paul, first we take a look at the Army's head football coach, Rich Ellerson. And then we take a look into the lives of 5 different players. And the main things that I discuss are their lives before West Point, how they made their decision on going to West Point, and finally what they've done at West Point so far.
Very good, Joe. Now, if you wouldn't mind going into some details about, say, Coach Ellerson. Maybe briefly discuss his past before West Point and mostly discuss his current tenure at Army West Point.
Well, Paul, Coach Ellerson had a good resume heading into his head coaching position at West Point. When he got there, he clearly understood that being an Army football player was more dynamic than most people thought. He recognized that these young men went to West Point first to become a leader in the Army, and second just to play football. Hence the title Soldiers First.
Well, very good, Joe. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us some insight in your new book. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, in stores now, Soldiers First, Duty, Honor, Country, and Football at West Point.
Okay, Paul, thanks for having me. Talk to you later.
And that will do it for all of us here at Hour 6 News at 6. I'm Paul Bessenbacher, and thanks for stopping by.